Coming up, I do have some exciting things. I've been working on certain financial goals over the year. I'm happy to share with you guys what two adults spend living in Philadelphia. It's a long story. Hi everyone, I'm Anna. I'm 31 years old and I live in Philadelphia. And today we are gonna have a November monthly reset. I think it'll be fun. It's something that I really want to start incorporating into my daily life. One of my favorite YouTubers in the world, Zoe Pritchard. I've been watching her monthly reset videos for several years now, to be honest, and they have always left me just feeling really, really motivated, and I always wanted to do my own monthly resets. And since I want to actually start incorporating that into my own life, I thought, why not just sit down, bite the bullet, and put together a little monthly reset vlog for you guys. So coming up, I do have some exciting things. So I may have mentioned in a video or two that in June of 2024, I underwent jaw expansion surgery. It's a long story about how everything played out, but essentially I'm getting braces as an adult. And that whole journey has been pretty crazy. It started way back, honestly, at the beginning of the year, and it's actually not until now, end of October, beginning of November, that I am getting my top braces on tomorrow morning. So I am going to be creating a big vlog about the entire process from start to finish. I will probably add some details about I'll just try to make it as informative as I can. It is something that I have heard during my own research, such varying stories about people's experiences. So I'm really excited for that video. I think it's going to be a really good one. Of course, all through October, I've been training for the Rocky race. So my sister is flying in from North Carolina the weekend after next, and we are gonna run a half marathon together. I'm super excited, and I'm gonna try and make that a really fun, wholesome vlog for you guys as well. But I guess beyond fun vlog YouTube stuff, I'm really excited for November and December. The last 2 months of the year, I am honestly blown away that it's already November. I don't know where this whole year went. I started at my corporate job in October of last year, of 2023. So this is the first year that I have had an entire year working a corporate 9-to-5 job. Before that, all of my jobs have been very untraditional. I was a flight attendant for several years, and before that, I was a waiter. I worked at bookstores, and I did all kinds of different customer service jobs. So this has been a really crazy learning experience for me, just getting used to having weekends. That's been really fun. But then of course there's been some things that have been a real challenge. I've been working on certain financial goals over the year. In 2020, I went back to school. I was furloughed from my airline and I went back to school, and since then, I didn't really have real income, like proper income coming in. And the thing is, my husband actually went back to school at the exact same time as me. So both of us, in our late 20s and now early 30s, were living on essentially the income of college students. And I'm so glad we did that, but it was definitely super challenging, just finding ways to afford living in the city, and definitely having to put financial goals like retirement goals, like investing for retirement, any kind of investing. Really saving at all was really out the window for those years. It was more of like a survive, graduate, get to our careers scenario for us. So this was the first year both of us are working full time again, finally. But a lot of it has been playing kind of catch up from those years. Just, obviously student loans. Unfortunately, we did get some credit card debt as well. Credit card debt is so insidious. I mean, I just feel like it's not something you want to be dealing with. It's so much better to be putting that money into the future rather than having to go backwards and pay back your history. I'm so excited to share that actually November is one of those fun months where you get a quote-unquote free paycheck. There are 3 Fridays that I get paid next month. I'm so excited for this extra paycheck because it means I'm going to be able to really pay down the last big chunk of the debt. That I do have some additional debt, but luckily right now I was able to do one of those credit transfers where I have a 0% APR until middle of next year. So there is some debt. And my huge mission in 2025 is going to be becoming completely credit card, any kind of retail or revolving debt, just done. I really want to be done with that. No more credit cards. So yeah, I've really not been adding to my credit card debt, and I'm about to pay off the last chunk that has been just, I've been chipping away at it, but it's the debt that was not transferred. So it is accruing interest. Luckily, it's not super high, but it's enough that it just makes me uncomfortable. So I'm going to pay that off at the very beginning of this month, November. I'm so excited for that. It's gonna feel like such a breath of fresh air. So the goal is we pay off that last debt that's sitting on my shoulders. And my plan is to very aggressively pay off that debt that was transferred. So I really want to make that a very aggressive goal because I want to have that completely paid off before the introductory rate expires in the middle of next year. So I'm going to be creating a cash budget that is somewhat strict, and I'm happy to share with you guys basically what I spend, what actually it will be what 2 adults spend living in Philadelphia. But I do want to talk a little bit more about what I want for the next month. I'm going to spend a little bit of time just journaling, thinking about any other goals, if I have goals that are not financially driven, that I want to work on for November. So yeah, I invite you to get yourself a little drink, get cozy, grab your journal, and reflect about October and plan for November. It's going to be a really good month. Had a little bit of time to journal and also get my budget together. Let's go over some of the goals that I have for the month of November. I want to run the half. Had to put that in there. That's a good, fun, and easy one to make sure I check that off. I'm going to be really happy when I can say that I did that with my sister. Okay, a couple of more consistent over time goals. I want to have 3 early morning runs a week. So I know as the sun starts to fade and nights get longer, days get shorter, it's going to be really hard for me to commit to continuing to run, especially as it gets colder too on top of that. So I really want to make sure that I'm getting myself out there and getting into a really good practice of consistently running. It doesn't have to be the same days every day of the week or week over week, but I just want to make sure I'm getting 3 runs in the morning, nice and early. I want to start meal prepping and cooking at home because it's just so hard when you get busy. I find that my husband and I start ordering out, and not only is that really expensive, it's also not the healthiest. So there's just so many good things about cooking at home, and I feel like when I do cook at home, I end up usually really enjoying it. I am one of those people, personally, I don't really love having a really stocked fridge. I like going a few times a week and getting groceries and thinking of what I'm feeling up to, but I don't think that's really sustainable. It's fun and it's nice, but I think it will be a lot easier during a busy work week to have the food at home already, so I don't have to go to the store after work and then come home and cook, because I just know it's gonna happen. So that's a really, really big goal of mine. I also want to get to bed earlier. This is a big one. I don't know what it is. I never used to be really like someone who would stay up super late, but sometimes lately I just don't want to go to sleep. I don't know what's going on with me, but I have found that over the last month there have been more than a handful of nights where I was up past midnight, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, I need to start going to bed early. And I also, this one's just kind of, I think it would be fun. I've never really tried this before, but I want to have a cleaning schedule. I want to have on the weekend and maybe also like throughout the week, what days or what weeks I do what around the house. I think having it sort of set up like that would maybe make it a little less overwhelming. You feel more organized, feel like it doesn't take up your whole weekend. So that's my plan. Create a little schedule for cleaning and then try and stick with it. But yeah, so to get to the budget, I'm so excited about this. I really think it's going to help my husband and I meet our goals and hold ourselves accountable. And I also think it's doable. I don't want to jinx myself, but I think we're going to be able to make this work really well for us. So first, kind of going over our fixed expenses. We really have about 5 fixed expenses. Rent, utilities. Now utilities is a funny one because it does vary month to month, but I have a pretty good idea of the rough average. So we're gonna just go with that. And then phone and internet and my dental treatment, we have monthly payments for that. And then student loans. So our rent is $2,369 a month. Utilities average about $200 a month. Phone and internet is $180 or $190. Our dental is $285 and student loans are $360 for a grand total of $3,404. So I have it mapped out where I know what needs to come out of each paycheck to go into the fund where all of this comes out of. One thing, talking about Zoe that she taught me about was going like 1 month ahead. And that's something I really want, but at this point I'm not 1 month ahead with my finances. So for November, I want to just see if we can make all of this work, just focusing on monthly fixed expenses and sticking with the cash budget. And then moving forward in December and especially into New Year, I want to start really working toward getting 1 month ahead. But for the weekly cash budget, I have guesstimated $500 a week. So I'm not totally sure how far off this is from my actual spending. In my mind, $500 a week doesn't sound crazy. I feel like that's not a ton of money to spend for 2 people, but I also feel like it's not gonna be impossible to stay within that means. And that's just something we're gonna play around with and see how it goes and up it if we have to, but even better, maybe we can shrink it a little bit. Anyway, so let's get into how we're gonna try and split that up. And this again is such trial and error. I hate to admit it. I've been so focused on just funneling my funds into the debt that I haven't really been keeping track of how much we're actually spending in any categories. But right now, just starting off, this is what we're going with, and we'll adjust as needed every week going forward. But the weekly budget, $500 cash, groceries $300, cats, I don't know if I'll need to spend this every week, but it would be really good just to start creating a sinking fund and having that money available when something does come up for the cats, because it's quite often that something does come up. So $40 a week for the cats. For home goods, and by this I just mean cleaning products, random little things that you might need. So for home goods, $25 a week, eating out $75, and treating yourself $60 a week. And that's split between me and my husband, so we have about $30. I feel like we can save that up if we want week over week, or we can use it to maybe do a fun activity together or buy something we individually are wanting. So there we have it, $500. We will see how that works. I'm really hoping, I think this is gonna be really fun. I'm really excited for the challenge. We're gonna just see how it goes. So that's my monthly reset. Thank you so much for joining me for this. I will see how this all goes. Hopefully I can make this a recurring thing that we do on my channel. And yeah, I hope it inspires you to create a little plan for your November, whatever it might look like. And if you do have some goals and you want to share them, go ahead and comment below. Let me know what your top 3 things you want to accomplish in November are. And thanks so much. See you in my next one.